honestly, I always want to be in alignment with why God put me on this earth. And I always want to be walking in my destiny and my purpose. And when I'm not, it doesn't feel good. And when I am, doors open for me.
All right. Hello, do-gooders. You're here with the court order in our special series called What's Your Impact? And I'm so excited because I have a special guest with us today. Hi, Tamra.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Courtney. How are you today?
I'm good. The reason I'm smiling like this, everybody, is because I am interviewing and chatting with my sister.
Her favorite person in the whole world.
You know, I think our baby sister would want to enter this chat to defute that. But you are certainly one of my favorite people in the entire world. So why do you care, right, about my sister? What's this all about? Well, let me tell you. So Tamra is an incredible social impact advocate. I think since the time I've known her, which is from the time she was born, she's been all about her community. More recently, though, so Tamra is a graduate of Old Dominion University. She is a member of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. Upon graduating from ODU, along with a lot of other accomplishments, Tamra began a role as the Experiences and Development Coordinator for Branches of Life LLC. Branches of Life LLC is an organization or nonprofit that's focused on fostering developmental and cognitive, educational, and also vocational skills for adults with varied levels of abilities and needs. And so Tamra took a lot of pride in the programming and the advocacy work, and also in the building of that particular program that was located in Virginia. Tamra is also a founding member of an incredible nonprofit in Richmond, Virginia. That nonprofit is called Feed the Streets, RVA. Okay, so if you're in Richmond, Virginia, you've seen the orange logo, you've seen the orange flyers or the t-shirts, and you probably know about their big event, Cookout for a Cause. We'll get to that in a second. But Tamra is vice president of that nonprofit organization focused on just addressing the hygiene and food lack needs in the Richmond city area. If that wasn't enough, Tamra also is a professional at Virginia, Henricos, I should say Virginia, yes, but Henrico County Mental Health, where she helps facilitate a myriad of things. But she also manages a team where she focuses on, again, the needs of people within the community, and just basically connecting gaps there. More recently, Miss Tamra Gore. Now, if you're not listening, take a moment just to really tune in here.
Lock in.
Okay. Tamra Gore is an entrepreneur, and she has just recently launched a brand new business that has picked up so much steam. Again, if you're in Richmond, Virginia, you already know. You've seen it. You've seen the ads. You've seen the Instagram reels. You might have even gone to the webpage. Tamra is the proud owner of the RVA Explore Tour bus system. And beyond a system, it's an experience. And we'll talk a little bit about that too and her other ventures. But she is just a pillar of light. She's a connector. And I am so excited to have you here, Tamra. Everybody clap for Tamra. Yay!
I'm so excited to be here, Courtney. You make me sound so important. I love that intro.
Well, you are important. You know that.
Thanks.
So before we get straight into it, I'd love to just do a round fire of this or that. Okay. And so it's just to, one, help people understand if you have true taste, which I'm your sister. Okay. Don't make me proud here. All right. So let's start.
Well, if anybody knows anything about us, they know we're night and day. So if our differences don't align, you know, it's all good. We just different people.
Yeah, they used to call us yin and yang. And for clarity, Tamra and I are a year apart. So we spent our entire lives being compared to one another. The one thing, if it's just one thing that we have in common, is that we both ended up in social impact. So there we go. Look at us. Look at us. Okay. So Tamra, Gmail or Microsoft Outlook?
Wow. I'm gonna go with Gmail. I
Good
really,
choice.
I really enjoy Gmail. I use Gmail for my business and for my personal, and then I have Outlook for my 9 to 5. And Gmail, I just really like how you got that drive, you got Google Meet, you got all types of things. It's a one-stop shop, user friendly. I really love it. So we're gonna go with that.
Winter or summer?
Usually summer is my girl, but I will tell you this, Virginia has had sticky humidity over the past 2 weeks, and it's making me rethink my choices. I'm thinking, I'm not feeling this. So I'm gonna shy towards winter, not for the weather, but for the holly jolly holidays, for my
Okay.
birthday, for the celebrations. I love outside activities in the summer, but we're not getting along right now. So we're
I
gonna go
can
with
I can understand that. And both of our birthdays are in the winter. So of
yeah,
course, like
yeah.
of course. My birthday's
Celebrate.
it's not enough that we're a year apart, folks. It's also my birthday's in December and Tamara's is in January.
Yeah.
So we weren't competitive at all.
No. Our parents tried to have a birthday parties with us together, joint, and we were like, "Excuse me, no, ma'am, we're not doing
Because what was
that."
going through their minds? Like
I don't know.
we can unpack that another time, but listen, absolutely not. No. Instagram or TikTok?
TikTok is giving my girl Instagram a run for its money these days.
Mm-hmm.
You know how much I love pictures, but something about the humor of Instagram. The humor of TikTok has been sucking me in lately. So we're gonna go with the
Okay.
Cluck app.
Okay. Virtual or in-person meetings?
Who are we meeting with? That matters. I'm gonna go with
That's a
virtual.
word. Like, let's just end the interview right there. Who are we meeting with? Because what are the vibes like here?
Yeah,
Okay.
what are they like? But overall, virtual, I really like just being able to stretch and yawn, brush my teeth, open the computer, and get to business. We'll go with that.
Yeah. Last
Saves
question.
gas money.
It does save gas money. It saves just energy, all of that stuff. But you're right. It depends on who you're meeting with. Because I don't mind meeting with good vibes in person.
That's right.
And some coffee and maybe some donuts.
Yeah.
Okay. Big community projects or small scale repetitive projects?
Ooh, I'm gonna go with big community projects.
Mm-hmm.
I like the hustle and bustle of it all. I like to see a big vision with small parts come together at the end, and
Mm-hmm.
I like putting people to work, not in a bad way, but really like pulling out what they're good at and letting them fly, checking in, and then just seeing that big picture mesh together at the end is rewarding. I think there's a need for the small projects, but as far as like what really gets me excited, I love big projects, and then the versatility of it all, being able to switch up what you're doing and have your hand in several different pots.
Well, let's talk about these big projects then, because you have taken on, Tamra, an incredible business opportunity.
Yeah.
And I want to hear more about the big projects you have going on. So maybe if you could, let's just start by having you share at the title or just a general understanding of the 2 or 3 biggest projects you got going on. What you got going on, girl?
Okay, 2 or 3 projects. So, as my sister so eloquently put it, I wear a couple hats. One, I think my favorite hat right now is RVA Explore Tour and getting that off the ground. And so, what RVA Explore Tour is, it's basically a shuttle bus experience, just as she put it. We're not a transportation company. We really look to provide an experience to everybody that hops on our bus in the heart and city of Richmond, Virginia. If you know anything about Richmond, there's so much to do. There's so much culture. There's so much food. There's so much art. There's so much versatility. I think the problem is sometimes that there's some hidden gems in Richmond that people don't know about. So if you're from around here, you get in the same slumps of doing the same thing. But if you come to the city, I notice people have a really big appreciation for Richmond because they're coming at with a fresh lens. And so my goal is really to show people around the city with a bunch of themed tours. I said I love versatility, right? So the tours range from book tours to margarita tours to, winery tours, to Tacky Lights tours, to Black-owned tours. We're really all about exposing all the gyms in the city. And basically, whatever your vibe is, whatever you're into, there's something for you too. So if you're not a drinker, that's okay. Hop on our book tour and let's go to all the indie bookstores in Richmond, have some coffee, and talk about our favorite reads, So that's what RVA Explore Tour is about. The way that it's set up is that we do private tours if you want to book the bus on your own and celebrate a birthday or celebration. Those are really fun because when everybody comes together and they know what they're here to do, they're here to celebrate. We're riding around, we're dropping off and picking up 2 to 3 stops. And I'm also helping create itineraries, which is one of my favorite things to do. Being a Richmond native, because I know a lot of spots, we've developed relationships with a lot of restaurants and other organizations. It's just been great. But then we have public tours, which are also great because you can buy a single ticket if you can't book the whole bus out. And I've seen people, hop on the bus kind of quiet, looking around, but then leave the bus with 5 new friends that they've connected over their interests with, just from being on the bus with us for a couple of hours, doing the interactive activities and experiencing Richmond and having a good time. So
that's incredible because there's so many people, especially once you leave high school or college, if you move to a new city or you find yourself in a brand new place, it's not that easy just to go out here and make friends randomly, or find friends who have similar interests once you leave an institution or a community style, learning environment. So how can you go out here and just make friends? So you have the opportunity to build community with other people who have the similar interest.
Yeah.
But it's a really cool idea too, because, you and I we're just a little, it's socially, you want to do something that's productive, fun, and safe. And it's great that if you want to do a private tour, you can. Folks, have done the private tour.
Yeah.
And it was one of the best Sundays I've ever had. I believe in Sundays being well spent. I love it. And I think it's incredible. So you talked, Tamara, about Richmond businesses and restaurants. How did you build those relationships? And tell me about how you decide which ones to build partnerships with.
So I think one thing about me personally is I love adventure. I love going out and I love seeing what's going on. I'm always on Eventbrite trying to figure out what the next move is. And so some of the restaurants are just some of my faves where I frequent and I have developed relationships. But being I'm all about customer service. So when I take somebody somewhere, like I take a bus load, I get their reaction. I also gauge, okay, how was your experience at this stop? How was your experience at that stop? We talk about it, and when the people really love something, it's easy for me to call the manager back and kind of make some arrangements with our agency to come back and, get some discounted rates maybe. And
okay.
Yeah. So it's all about, I really want to take people to places that they enjoy. And since we're newer, we do rely on the customer's experience, but I also kind of use my experiences personally with the relationships in Richmond to leverage that. And I'm also trying to put us on Black-owned businesses, businesses that are new, have a lot of great food, have a lot to offer, but just not the exposure. So I think you can build community in that way, because when somebody comes on the bus and they're like, I've never been here before, this was great, 10 times out of 10, they're going back on their own and they're going to bring a friend,
Yeah, absolutely. And so another question for you, you started this business when?
I started this business in May of 2023.
And question for you, because right now we're in July / August of 2023, because July is basically over. Tell me, how has business looked? How has the booking been? How has the traction been and attention for your new business, for your new baby?
God is good. God is great.
Okay.
God is amazing. I have to give him all the glory. So I'll be transparent. When I did my soft launch in May, I invited a bunch of my friends. We went out, and I was feeling very confident that by December, like Christmas time, that the business will be up and running and launched. And I wanted to test the waters with people I felt, close with, that would give me some real feedback. And so my goal was in May to do a soft launch, to kind of reel it back in and plan, and then to re-emerge in the winter. However, the footage got on Instagram, social media, things started rolling, people started inquiring, and I just started getting pulled in the direction of this is it. You need to dive in. There's, obviously there's um, steps and protocols you have to plan, of course, but don't sit on this. People want this, people need this. And so I'm blessed that in June, I was booked every single weekend. We did about 4 private tours. In July, booked and busy. We're doing a lot of maintenance and renovations and getting the bus wrapped and ready for August, because in August we're booked every single weekend as well, including a lot of Thursdays for our public tours. Business has been amazing. I've seen so many faces on and off the bus, so many repeated faces where they just found us on Eventbrite or Instagram. I've gotten a lot of influencers. So visit Black RVA. Shout out to you guys. Thank y'all. They came on the bus, made a reel. Interviews with local radio personalities, collaborations again with restaurants and businesses. And we've grown our following base on Instagram by 1,000 people within the last 2 weeks. So it's just been amazing. Everyone keeps saying the city really needs this. Everybody needs this. And I thought it was a great idea and I felt strongly about it, but to see how people receive it as confirmation for what God already told me feels great. So
amen. Amen. And also for all you out there who are thinking, I could do that. Well, you can't do what Tamra does, and you won't have what Tamra has. You might have a bus. You just won't have an Explore Tour. Okay? All right. Let's not do that.
Don't do
I'm
it.
so proud of you, Tamra. Just for clarity, for those who may not know out there, visit RVA, or is it Visit Black RVA, Tamra, that you said? Yes. Is a staple on Instagram for highlighting and making visible like Black owned businesses, Black owned shops, and also Black owned experiences. And so that picked up a lot of traction. And so I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
We know that as we move into the fall and winter, there's going to be a big feature for your business, which is that of the Tacky Lights Tour. Let's talk about it, because it's our favorite thing to do. Tamra and I have been going. Tamra introduced us to it, right? She went, and I won't steal her thunder because I do it all the time. I'm the oldest sister. I don't really care. So we used to go every single year. It's been like, what, 7 years? It's our favorite thing in Christmas to do. And we take our nene, our grandma, and our mom, and it's our sisters, and we go to the Tacky Lights Tour. And Tamra is going to be offering the same experience to you guys with her tour. So let's talk about it quickly.
Sure. I'll even go back a little bit further. So Courtney mentioned that I was experiences and development coordinator at Branches of Life, and we support adults with developmental disabilities. And so a little bit of my background for that job was planning activities and events and getting, folks that don't have the opportunity to get out and expose themselves to things in the community to really plan. But you had to be pretty strategic because they had varying needs, and, you just wanted to make sure those were met at the same time they're experiencing things. And I felt the same thing about my grandma. So let me take it back. So at Branches, we actually curated a Tacky Lights Tour event every year. We did it for about 3 years. And then I thought, my family would really like this. So we used to take a shuttle bus, drive around the city, lights, it used to be like 12 of us. We would have cookies, hot chocolate. And so one day I took my mom and my younger sister and we did a version of it. And then Courtney added on. And then my grandma started coming. But when my grandma got in the mix, y'all, she was not letting it go. So it was like a fun, loose tradition for, me and my sisters and my mom. But then every year, my grandma, are we going to Tacky Lights? Are we going? Let's get it. So eventually, year 1, 2, 3, 4, it would be all of us again. Good time, music, lights around the city. Richmond has a lot of people that decorate their homes with lots of different lights on them. And so there's maps where you can follow, but there's also a drive-through where you can kind of sync your music to the lights, and there's a light show. The last 2 years, we actually surprised her and rented a bus, and we invited our cousins and all of her great-grandchildren. And she really enjoyed it. And so I always knew that I had a purpose and destiny to kind of organize, plan itineraries, get people together, that type of thing. But I think really seeing my grandma so excited every single year about that, it confirmed you have a gift of, building community with people that can't do it for themselves. She loves her family. She's 90 years old. You have a gift, same thing with people with disabilities, getting them together and getting them out. They can't physically do it. And, sometimes our barrier is finances. Sometimes our barrier is knowledge. But I always want people to see people having a good time. And when I see her every year having a great time, it made me realize you need to put your gifts to work. And RVA Explore Tour was kind of born as a result of that inspiration. So
yes. Well, at this point, we just got to say, hey, Nene.
hey,
That's our grandmother. That's our girl. She'll be
Mhm.
celebrating 90 years this year in a couple weeks. And you're absolutely right, Tamra. You're so gifted in so many different things. Even as a child, you were gifted in not just one thing, right? You're gifted in like creating crafts. You're gifted at creating like events. You were gifted at like making people feel heard who were ignored. And so at this time, I just see this business and how I've been on tour buses before. I've been on different, I guess you could say, experience themed transportation, never experienced anything quite like what you offer. And so I just want for everyone to know, where can they, and I'll put links right below this video if you're watching, but where can people find you easily?
Hot off the press, we just finished our website this weekend. So you guys are the first to know. www.rvaexploretour.com on the World Wide Web. On Facebook, same thing, RVA Explore Tour. And then on Instagram, same thing, RVA Explore Tour. There's links in our bios. There's Google Forms if you guys want to do a public tour. But yeah, the private tours, Tacky Lights, is coming up. Hop on. We're going to have a blast in the winter holiday and the winter season. And then we have a lot of other cool theme tours that we're going to be offering. So just hop on and let's ride.
Yeah. Listen, I will be there. We'll see if I'll be driving. And you know who else might be driving? Our dad. You might get the chance to meet Mr. Rodney Gore, who, if you meet our parents, right, if you meet our parents, both of them, you'll understand all of this. So I'm so excited for you, Tamra, and I'm personally excited for the holiday season. So again, the links for all of that are available below. And of course, they're on social media, Instagram, you heard, Facebook. So sign up as soon as you can. And if you're not in the Richmond area and you plan to be there, you should plan to go. But two, when you do, you have something to do for the day. So get to know Richmond. It's a wonderful city. Tamra, I know that you are working on so many other projects, but just can you give me one more that's floating around for you right now?
Sure thing. So yeah, I'm thinking about the hats. RVA Explore Tour up and running great. And then obviously one of my babies that we started 6 years ago is Feed the Streets RVA.
Yeah.
We are on the community impact note because that is very near and dear to my heart. Feed the Streets RVA is a nonprofit that gives back to the community in a variety of ways. Our target population is people that are on or below the poverty line. And so two things that are happening right now. One, we have some hygiene pantries in the city. They're grab-and-go hygiene pantries. Basically, they're free resources, tampon, soap, lotion, deodorant, anything that you would need to keep yourself clean, washcloths, towels, all types of things. We have them in a pantry that people can kind of grab whenever they want to, 24 hours, 7 days a week. We have 2 of those in the city, and we actually are putting up 5 more. We just put up 3 this week. We just painted 1 yesterday, and then we have 2 more that we're putting up on Monday. So we're really expanding our reach. Another hot off the press kind of information right here.
I was going to say, we're getting all of the exclusive. You heard it first here for What's Your Impact series.
Yes.
Now, I have to interrupt here and be the eldest sister again, because, Tamra is we joke and say that Tamra is the director and coordinator and liaison of family events and special events. I am the marketing coordinator and also just the vice president of special relations. And so what Tamra isn't telling you is that this hygiene pantry came from her, right? This was an idea that fostered all throughout her vision, right? And so she actually was featured in so many different news publications, in the Washington Post, in the Richmond Times-Dispatch. She was on the cover, which is the huge newspaper for Richmond City, if you're not familiar, for her work. And then she was also featured in Be Good's nonprofit, or her foundation, on their Instagram and their website. And so if you're not familiar, Beyonce, yes, the Beyonce Knowles, has a foundation called Be Good. And she covers, highlights, and brings visibility to great organizations doing great work. One of the great projects and great works was that of this hygiene pantry.
Yes.
So I'm just so proud of you, Tamra. It's an incredible, incredible and noble cause, especially in the pandemic, where people didn't have access to certain materials. And so if you think of a book pantry in really nice areas, usually in privileged neighborhoods or residential areas, you might be walking down the street and you see a shelf or a really nicely decorated door, or that's outside of a residential property, and it says take one and replace one, and it's books, right? And you open it, you can take a book for free, and the idea is fostering a community, and you can replace it with a book. Well, imagine those for hygiene. And so Tamra has worked with so many community organizations to refill those, because the items in those pantries will go very quickly, which shows the need. And so she started and planted the first one with Feed the Streets RVA. But now, how many are we about to have in Richmond?
8 altogether. Ooh. It's amazing. Actually, 5 in Richmond, and then we're actually looking at 1 in Henrico and 2 in Petersburg. So we're spreading out our reach. I just want to say thank you to all of the community members, because it started off Feed the Streets was refilling it on our own every single day. But just like Courtney said, we put them in, where our target audience resides, but so many people visit and frequent the pantries and fill them up on Sundays and make sure there's supplies in there. So just getting the community involved and giving people an opportunity to give back, because it's some people's weekly service to go fill the pantry up with their kids, with their church, with their organizations. So I'm happy that we are in the process of building, again, 5 more pantries in the city, just so that we can continue to funnel out resources in a way that feels natural and not judgy. And, it just allows so many people to get involved. So that is one project with Feed the Streets. I'm going to segue into our next project that we're big on, because I want to promote this, because if you're in Richmond, you should absolutely come out. And that's a Cookout for a Cause. I am so excited about this event. At this event, we're going to announce all of our pantries. But what it is it's pretty much our biggest event of the year. We usually have 1,500 to 1,800 people coming in and out of the event, and it is a free event in the city where we have a day of fun for the community. We feed the community free food.
The food is good too. It's not like, just food that you don't want, because you hear free food, you're like, I don't want that option. No, the food is good.
We got people on the grills. We got people making we got chefs typically catering the food. So come out and come get you a free plate. Of course, in addition to food, we have food trucks. We have free resource vendors, right? So a lot of the vendors are going to be giving out free summer camps in the city, resources for your kids to do, just things that you can get involved with that you might need. And so we have those vendors, but we also have an opportunity for young or new fresh businesses to promote what they got going on. So they'll be, selling and pushing and promoting themselves as well. We always have a beautiful performance. We usually have a band, and this year we actually have CCB, which is going to be great.
So for those who don't know, the Critical Condition Band is, and I know a lot of people who watch this particular series are based in DC. DC is going to Richmond, Virginia. So we come on down. It's a free concert, a free day for kids and families. That's huge, Tamra.
Yes, we have the whole goal is just to give back to the community, because everybody that comes usually gives food items that we distribute as an organization. This year is going to be hygiene items that we can continue to funnel out through our pantries, but also just to create a free day of fun. Richmond sometimes has this negative image. There's a lot of things going on in our city that, some we might not be proud of, but we always as an organization really want to highlight the good and make it light for people, you know? So bounce houses, face painting, water slides, Jonathan the Juggler, you know, just you name it.
Jonathan
It's a
the
vibe.
Juggler. Okay,
Yes.
and again, this is very Richmond, Virginia based. We're giving you a whole lot of knowledge. If you don't know, consider it a lesson in culture. Okay.
Mhm.
A staple in the Richmond community. He has been doing magic shows and presentations since I was in preschool. And the fact that at the last Cookout for a Cause that I went to, he was there and still had what? He had an audience of 150 kids at the time and
Oh
was
my
just
gosh. Juggling
enamoring them.
fire, juggling
I
fire, keeping the jokes are flowing. He's so talented.
He's so
Shout out to Jonathan.
talented. And so it just goes to show what kind of experience you can expect for the kids, but also for families.
Yes.
And so, again, can you give us that date and where we
Absolutely.
can find that
Yeah.
information?
So it's going to be on August the 12th from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. It's going to be at Abner Clay Park, which ironically is the first place we ever had a Feed the Streets event and outreach, and we fed over 200 people. Before we were a nonprofit, there was a lot of place that Abner Clay used to be a place where a lot of our houseless neighbors would hang out, you know, and so we went there to feed them. Now, you know, they've kind of transitioned out of that park and they've done some renovations, but we're coming back and putting it on for the city,
Yes.
everybody, and having a great time. So you can find information about Feed the Streets at www.feedthestreetsrva.org. On Instagram, Feed the Streets RVA. We have an Eventbrite link for you to sign up if you want to come, but just pull up. It's absolutely free, and we will be happy to have you. We have so much entertainment lined up for you that day, and we just want to let your hair down with your family.
Yeah.
So.
Their community events are so important. And so I'm really, really excited for that event for you guys because it's the first one that you all have had post-pandemic, right?
It is. We've had some hiccups with the pandemic, like 2020 obviously it wasn't safe. 2021 there were some spikes around the time where we wanted to have it.
Yeah.
2022 we went back to the drawing board, and then now we're back here with
you're ready to go.
Fresh, revamped, fully polished. This will be our 5th year hosting this event, and so it's near and dear to our hearts, and we're very excited to put it on.
It's going to be fantastic. Yes. Now, Tamra, with all of this, and again, the link for that information, both Feed the Streets RVA generally, but also the event will be available below. Yes. If you're watching on YouTube, if you're not, go ahead and press the interlink so you can go ahead to the YouTube. And at this point, I'm going to remind you to like and to share with someone if you're watching. We're coming to the end of our time, Tamra, and you shared so much of what you're doing. I just have to know, you know, for this season, it just seems like there's a lot of manifestation of your gifts. And I want to know when you think of social impact and your legacy and what it is you want people to know Tamra Gore for, especially as you pick up a lot of traction and a lot of attention, what is important for you to put out there for the world to understand about what it is that you do and why you do this hard work?
Yeah, I just think that sometimes people really think that it takes so much to be a social impact worker or make impact. And I just want to show people that there's so many ways you can do it. And I also want to create avenues for people that may not be able to dig deep and create something new or fresh, but they do want to give back. They have that desire to do it themselves. I just want to remind people, hey, you can give somebody your leftover tampons and they will love it. They'll need it. Hey, you can provide a smile with somebody's face, you know, by just being kind and being nice. And so, yes, I provide experiences, I organize things, but there are so many ways that you can give back. And I think that is just important in a world where there's already enough things that are rough and tough and they wear on you, and there's stress and there's, you know, depression and there's anxiety. There's so much room for us to just be kind and gentle and understanding to the world around us. And if you have the resources, you know, something that may be small to you is a big deal to somebody else. And so channel your brain to, you know, work hard and, you know, support, you know, others in ways that feel good to you. I think that would be what I would want people to do. And leading by example is kind of what I'm doing here, by just trying to make my mark, trying to walk in
Yeah.
purpose.
I'm just so proud of you. I can't stop smiling because I just know that you have been an entrepreneur for a while. You've been in community work forever. And I think now people are just starting to see it. What, we've known this whole time because I have taste. I obviously know this whole time. But I'm just so proud of you. I want to know too, for people who have a hard time with motivation, because motivation and inspiration doesn't always stick with us.
No.
What keeps you and in this heart work that's also hard work?
Yeah. What keeps me, I'm a spiritual person, so I have to go there. Honestly, I always want to be in alignment with why God put me on this earth. And I always want to be walking in my destiny and my purpose. And when I'm not, it doesn't feel good. And when I am, doors open for me. And so I think that, one thing that keeps me is staying in alignment feels good to me. And I believe that this is what I'm here to do. I love seeing people succeed. I love seeing people have what they need. I love seeing God work and move in people's lives. And if I could be a vessel, I'm going to do that. It's never been about the money, because obviously, some of these social impact jobs, there's more money to be made, there's conversations about that. So it's never about that. It's just about the way my heart is set up. And so I feel like when I'm doing social impact work, it's where I'm supposed to be. And I always want to be there. So hopefully that answers your question.
I mean, absolutely. Alignment is very, very important. And I mean, we can talk about spirituality all day. Okay. Both of our parents raised us to be in alignment with God's purpose and to hear his voice. And so Jeremiah 29:11 says, "For I know the plans and thoughts I have for you, says the Lord." And it's plans for a future and for well-being. And it's for you to have all this to say, because I don't want to start preaching here, but alignment is important, because without purpose and without a vision, right, the people perish. And so it's very important. He wants to give us a hope and a plan in the future. So I agree with you. When you feel that resistance and that friction absent God's voice, it's kind of like, okay, this is no longer what I'm supposed to be doing. It's not going to cut it out. And so that's the difference between a job or a career and a calling. And so I know you are called to do this. Tamra, we're at time, but I just want to thank you so much for talking and sharing all the things. I mean, we just we scratched the surface of the work that you're doing. But if you want to follow any of these projects, again, that's RVA Explore Tour for the experiences. And then there's Feed the Streets RVA. That's the nonprofit. And then there's Cookout for a Cause. That's going to be the event underneath Feed the Streets RVA. And then generally, I would tell you go to Tamra's LinkedIn page, but she still hasn't updated it like someone told her to do. But you can look her up on LinkedIn, Tamra, Tamra Gore, Gore. And she also is fluent in ASL.
Oh, yeah.
Tamra Gore on LinkedIn. Thank you.
Courtney, you're very good at ASL too. You remember a lot.
I remember the alphabet.
Okay.
A girl knows how to spell. Well, thank you again, Tamra, for your time. And remember, everyone out there, please continue to tune in. If this was helpful, if you enjoyed this, like, comment, share, and subscribe. We'll have a lot more series of really great people doing the great work. And always remember to see the good. All right. Have a great night, day, afternoon, whatever time you're watching this. And you have a great day. Thank you, Tamra.
Thank you for having me, Courtney.
Of course. Bye.